Welcome into this Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio here this morning. See a lot of activity already in the thread. Figure everybody's in a pretty good mood. Ole Miss knocking off Kentucky 22-19 on Saturday in Oxford. The Vanderbilt Commodores are up next. Auburn Tigers after that, and so on and on and on. A couple different Tigers in a row. So we'll look back at Kentucky one final time. We'll look ahead to Vanderbilt and sort of where Ole Miss is sitting at this point of the season at 5-0, won 13 straight home games, and plenty more as well. Podcast brought to you every day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Hope you took advantage of the jersey giveaway, official Ole Miss Game Day football jerseys. Every home game, they're giving one away when you go into the Blue Sky location here in Oxford. All you do is sign up. Every purchase allows a sign up for that. So multiple purchases, multiple sign ups, and opportunities to win one of the 7 jerseys given away this season. Also, get a lunch special while you're in there. Any size fountain drink, bread, and more. Today's special is chicken spaghetti. Take advantage of that while you're inside the Blue Sky here in Oxford. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. Send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest completely up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guests will join this week on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. I'm going to miss the reader. Actually enjoyed that last week.
Did you really?
I actually kind of enjoyed it by the end. I was having fun.
How was it?
The party?
Uh-huh.
It was great.
Okay.
Yeah. I went and hung out with Brianna for a few hours. Got some influential tips and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just fantastic. I had a great time. Actually, on Friday, I'm embarrassed to admit this. On Friday, I was asleep by 8:45.
Completely asleep.
I was out for the night, completely asleep, 8:45.
Yeah, I think you told me that because you said you slept in a little bit too.
Yeah, I meant to get up earlier than I did. I didn't get up till like 7:30. Because originally I was going to get to Vaught Hemingway at 8 and work. Just get 10 thoughts basically written.
And
I got there.
You were there early. You got a lot of work done Saturday morning.
I sat back in the back from 9 to 11 and worked. I didn't come to
Did it look like you got bothered too much?
No one bothers me. I think at this point people just...
Dellinger came and talked to you.
I talked to Ross. Wow. I talked to Gilbo. I talked to Chris Lowe. I talked to Phil Savage.
I didn't see Gilbo. Was he there?
Yeah, he was there.
Okay.
I mean, I saw some of the old guys.
Okay. The gang was back together, baby.
For a little bit, yeah.
Woo.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, Rafters. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. If you're around this weekend, maybe you're not headed to Nashville looking for a place to hang out, watch the game. Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, 3 o'clock on Saturday. You can go to Rafters, grab a burger, a po' boy, appetizer, all those things. Great beer selection, full bar, more at Rafters on the Square in Oxford. Also, Dead Soxies, excited to announce an incredible fall score sale. It's back for 2022. You remember the last time they did this in 2020, it was like nuts. At the conclusion of Saturday's game, however many points the Rebels have scored against the Commodores, Dead Soxy will match that number as a percentage discount.
And picked Vanderbilt for it, yeah.
If the Rebels post 38 on Vandy, the promo code will activate for 38% off. 50 points, no problem. 50% off. The promo will cap at 60%.
Okay, I was waiting on it, just in case.
I mean, you got to just...
I don't see Ole Miss throwing up a 60 burger on Saturday.
I don't either. It'd be shocking. The score sale will run from the conclusion of the game until midnight on Monday, October the 10th. Load up on your favorite socks. Score this incredible offer. Visit deadsoxy.com. Use the promo code Rebel Grove at checkout and get the score sale percentage of all orders.
Maybe Lane just wants a little more of a discount, so just start dialing it up there in the second half. And,
Could be.
And getting going.
Could be.
Choo-choo.
Something tells me Lane doesn't order his own socks.
He wears them all the time.
He does wear a lot of them, yeah. For sure.
You just don't think he orders them.
Yeah, but I mean, whoever orders them for him could get the discount code.
They could. Hey, look. Athletic department used to be really worried about turning the lights off in rooms when they left. I mean, you know what? Every dollar bill saves a little bit here and there. It is what it is. Different era.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Wisconsin completely fine just throwing $18 million or whatever at Paul Chryst.
19.
Is it 19?
Yeah. Somebody could say, who's counting? And I'll say, Paul Chryst is counting.
Yeah, somebody said, hey, Paul, here's your check for 16. He goes, no, 19 is the number there.
You know,
I was shocked, and I'm still kind of surprised, but in a weird way, because money just apparently doesn't matter at a lot of places now, I sort of get it. I think I get it more than I did last night when I first saw it.
my son turns 16 tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
You know, I kind of want to say to him, I don't know what you want to do in your life, but if you could somehow figure out a way to be a fired football coach, that's the way to go. Be a fired football coach.
A fired football coach.
Yes. I mean, today, can you imagine what is today like for Paul Chryst?
Not his problem anymore.
Waking up in suburban Madison somewhere. Yeah, not his problem anymore. He's not watching film today. He probably slept in. I mean, can you imagine how good the coffee tastes when you get paid $19 million to not work?
We always talk about when you know that you're potentially firing somebody to fire them at some point. By God, this is the other side of that, where it is as soon as anything looks a little weird. I mean, Wisconsin's been very good for a long time. Here's the thing, though. It's my guess. I have no inside knowledge into Wisconsin other than kind of being the weird Big Ten team I sort of root for, is that they wanted Jim Leonard. They want Jim Leonard. So they're giving Jim Leonard an opportunity to win the job and not go to Nebraska or somewhere else.
And if they can't get Jim Leonard, they want to get in on this Lance Leipold thing.
Yeah, it's let's go ahead. We'll give this guy who we like a really good job interview here for 7, 10 games, whatever the hell this is, and let him go do it. And then, hey, Leipold's over there. I don't really want to go to Nebraska. So, well, hey, Wisconsin, we've been pretty good. We've been to Rose Bowls. Why don't you come do it here? I think this was very much more indicative of timing outside than the program falling apart under Paul Chryst, even though obviously Chryst had struggled and they were not very good at all this year.
Yeah, Brett Bielema bringing Illinois in there and spanking them.
That
was probably more than some of the big money people could take.
That's what we'd always talk about. Games aren't played on paper. It's a great example of when you go, oh, well, yeah, if they go 5-7, sure, but it's just 1 year. It's like, yeah, you didn't. When you do that in the preseason, you haven't sat through the loss to Illinois with Brett yet, where you're in the stands and he comes into Camp Randall and we're not jumping around, we're getting our ass kicked, and it's a problem.
Yeah, see, it's why the conversation in June is somewhat meaningless. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens. I'm watching Auburn this week.
He's having media today. We're good today. We're all good through the week.
Got to go to Georgia.
They're fallible. Never know.
Well, that's true. They are.
We'll get to it. We'll go through odds, but we've covered so much of it. By the way, MPW Digital post-game show in 2 separate podcasts. I did something different this week. I put the full show up if you'd like that, the 2 hours and 16 minutes or whatever it is. Talked to Jeffrey, talked to Neal, took your calls. And then also just put up the 32-minute conversation with Neal if you want that. So that is up.
Did we talk for 32 minutes?
Once ads went in, it was 32 minutes.
Oh, wow. How about that?
That is it was like 29:46 or something like that before the open and all that stuff.
It was actually very pleasant. It was yet another reason to play the games in the daytime. It was quiet. I went out to the little photo deck on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Just sat there and visited with you.
So
very pleasant. They weren't mowing the grass or anything.
True. Yeah.
It's kind of quiet.
Because we used to get that in instant analysis all the time.
Yeah. At the very end, the TV people were pulling their cords and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was starting to get loud.
So, assuming Georgia wins the game by, 20 points against Auburn, whatever.
Okay.
Does Ole Miss fire Brian Harsin if they beat Auburn in 2 weeks? So it's a road game, though, at a top 15, top 10 team. I mean, like.
Yeah, you firing.
Why are you firing him now? Like, if you're not firing him after whatever that was on Saturday, why are you firing him after he loses to Georgia and Ole Miss?
Well, so if A.J. McCarron is right, and I know who his source is.
Okay.
The decision to fire him but let him finish the season has kind of already been made. He knows it.
Oh, well then.
Whatever.
Different. Well, that's kind of my point. Like, you're not going anywhere anyway, unless you feel like he's somehow destroying the morale of the program, which, whatever. And I don't think he is.
There's no sign that he is. They played hard the other night.
Then you just let him finish it.
They just lost.
Yeah. What's the difference? Don't go do the interim thing and then makes no sense.
No, interim guy gets hot and upsets Alabama, and now people want to keep him. Just finish.
I did laugh. The least surprising thing in the world is Colorado finally making a coaching change after the abomination that is the Buffaloes. But their AD, Rick George, having to decide which coordinator to be the interim when the offensive coordinator was averaging 13 points a game and the defensive coordinator was giving up 43 points a game. And going, God, I'm putting one of these cats in charge of the ship for the next 7 weeks.
That's where you just promote the GA and go, it's your job.
Here's the resume line, bud.
Have at it. See what happens.
Because they suck.
They're horrible. They're horrible.
They're one of the worst Power 5 teams in recent memory.
Yes.
So, you did the math. Ole Miss now 16-3 in their last 19.
I got to be.
You're a little bothered right now.
Not bothered. I'm a little surprised. It makes me wonder. I put a lot of time into 10 Weekend Thoughts, and I'm starting to wonder if it's a waste of time. I don't know that anybody's reading it. Because the third thought leads with, so how hot is Ole Miss? And I went and what I did was I found every undefeated Power 5 team so far this year. And if I missed one, I missed one. I don't think I did. And then I took the rest of the SEC teams, and I went back and found out what their record was in their last 19 games to compare it with Ole Miss. Because I was curious, how many programs over the last 19 games nationally are better than Ole Miss? And better, I know is a subjective word for anybody who's going to argue, but has won more games. And the list is 4.
Georgia's 18-1. Alabama's 17-2. Michigan is 17-2. And Oklahoma State is 17-2.
Yeah.
Ohio State is 16-3 and tied with Ole Miss.
And that's the only other 16-3.
That is correct.
So that's pretty rarefied air if you think about it. That's obviously the 2 best programs in the country today.
I love the stat that in the last 19, Kansas is 7-12 despite being 5-0 this season.
Yeah. Lance Leipold's going, cha-ching!
Oh, he woke up yesterday and went, hey,
no
matter what I do the rest of the way.
Lance Leipold wakes up and he is a Shopify addict. Boom. Cha-ching. When he gets up, his wife looks at him and goes, cha-ching, just everywhere because dude is cashing in.
He's about to really get paid somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Don't try to do it again. No. Hey, Kansas, enjoyed it. Thank you.
Take one of the helmets with you. It's really cool. Get the players to sign it.
Put it in your office.
And put it in your office forever. And when people come in and go, oh, you were the guy. I was. I loved my year at Kansas. It was great.
Goes right next to the Buffalo helmet. Had a big time.
Had a great time. It's awesome.
Now I'll take my $9 million, please.
Yes.
I can be a Badger.
Oh, are you kidding?
That's a good fit.
I mean, he's got Wisconsin ties.
He was at Whitewater forever.
For a long time, yeah.
That's a fit now.
Oh, and it's all about fit. In today's college
football,
football,
that I would just want him. Forget Leonard. It's almost risky from that standpoint of, hey, what if Leonard wins?
I know.
Everybody loves him here. I
know.
What if we just kind of let Chris lose and then go get him in 7 weeks? I mean,
I know. It wasn't like Paul Chris was wrecking your program.
No, you just were bad at football. That's it.
I know.
As you mentioned, the rest of the SEC in that stat, Arkansas 12-7, Auburn 9-10. Talk about getting dominated PR-wise by a helmet. It's Auburn. Because when they play a game, we do it too. Hey, it's Auburn. I don't know. You never know. They're 9-10 in their last 19.
I know.
They're one game worse than South Carolina in their last 10. I get they're in the West, not the East, but still, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida, 9-10. There's a Gator on the helmet.
I know.
And we go,
oh, Florida. Yeah, not really.
They sucked.
Not really.
LSU 11-8, A&M 13-6, State 12-7, very respectable.
Mm-hmm.
Bulldogs have been good.
Yeah. In many ways, State and Arkansas have become a problem for like the Texas A&Ms of the world because they're respectable. Well, I mean, look at this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, we have been cheated. We should all be angry this morning.
About the Arkansas situation.
If Arkansas doesn't have just a couple of kind of screw-ups, they beat A&M, and we have the full-scale nuclear meltdown that we deserve.
It would be,
just think about it.
Catastrophic right now.
If they don't have a bad snap on 2nd and 5 at the 15, I think they score a touchdown, and right now it is 3 Mile Island in College Station. It is just glorious what we would have. I mean, it's pretty good as it is, but it's not the full nuclear reactor completely boiling over meltdown that we
still got a chance to get there.
We have a chance to get there, but we should be there now with the chance to have it
going into Bama week.
We should have it for 2 months.
Where it's good job CBS grabbing that Saturday night game. I understand, but
the Auburn LSU, someone points it out in the thing. I'm going to be careful because YouTube flagged our Thursday show for some reason. So I'm going to be careful with words.
I don't think we had cuss words or anything, though.
I don't think we did anything. If anybody can remember anything in the Thursday show with Ben Mintz.
They are not allowing our Thursday show to be profitable by saying that we...
Is it Thursday morning or Thursday night?
Thursday nights. Okay. Hand-raised guy said that it is not suitable for most advertisers.
Yeah. Anyway. Auburn LSU always kind of delivers drama.
It does.
And it did it again.
It's always fun.
It's a fun game. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird game.
It needs to be at night. It does. In all seriousness, there's something weird about that game at night where you go, yeah, let's just go do that.
I'm going to give ESPN credit. I think they got it right last weekend. I mean, I know there are people that are still worked up about it. They put the right game at 11 a.m. and they put the right game at 6. They did. They got it exactly right. Kudos to them. Get as mad at me as you want to.
It looked right on TV.
It looked right.
Yeah, it did.
And if you flipped them, it doesn't look right.
Yeah. We'll continue this conversation in 1 second. First, to me about Johnston Hill Creamery, johnstonhillcreamery.com. They're closed for fall break this week. That is the 4th through the 8th. But for next week back at home, get your tailgating packages in. And now you can do it online. You can order right there at johnstonhillcreamery.com. They have a lot of their different products available online, and you can even go ahead and get your tailgating packages, your catering things. Do it. Get a confirmation. You don't have to call. Don't have to talk to anybody. Neal would love that. Go right online. Take care of that with Johnston Hill Creamery. That's johnstonhillcreamery.com, 662-419-9201.
We're brought to you by The Rogue. I taped with Mason Brooks yesterday. That'll be up at 1 o'clock today. It's the Mason Brooks Show presented by The Rogue 4450 I-55 North in Jackson, or therogue.com. Also brought to you by the College Corner. It's one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area in Ridgeland. It's next to Fleet Feet and Flowwood. It's next to Half Shell. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com, plus you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call the people at Southern 662-429-4429. Walk-On's Sports Bistro puts everything they've got into bringing you game day with a taste of Louisiana. You can dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine like po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers, fresh salads, all in front of 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. Check them out in Oxford or Ridgeland today. Speaking of the Auburn game, our friends at Blue Delta are excited to announce they'll be hosting Mustache the Band Friday, October the 14th for the Square Jams after party after the basketball team finishes up with Square Jams on Friday night. You can head over to the Lyric and hang out with the folks from Blue Delta with the world's most powerful 90s country party band. Ticket packages are on sale now. Some tickets include jeans, some don't, but all include admission to the concert and an open bar. To book, just DM Blue Delta on their socials or visit bluedeltajeans.com/afterparty, and we'll see you there. Ole Miss headed to Nashville this week. A-Stock Auctions is a Nashville-based online auction company with the mission to provide customers the power to name their price. All items at A-Stock start at just $1. That's right. Every item starts at just $1. Shop now at astock.bid or download their app. Name your price on thousands of items from big-name retailers A-Stock Auctions has multiple locations around Nashville that offer local pickups, so don't miss out. Want it, bid it, win it. Lane Kiffin meets with the media later today. I'll have what he said, what he meant, some point this evening. That is presented by MyPerfectFranchise.net. If you're looking to diversify, if you're looking to leave the corporate rat race, to gain control of your income and schedule, MyPerfectFranchise.net offers the ability to create income and wealth. Let Andy Ledecky guide you through a comprehensive franchise evaluation. He has tons of franchise and business ownership to lean on. If you hate your job, your boss, your pay, if you feel stuck, get in touch with Andy. He can help. It's Andy at MyPerfectFranchise.net.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life, but you learn how to find your own solutions. There's no better feeling. Therapists can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. Maybe you've tried therapy in the past. Maybe the in-person thing was not for you. Or you just talk with friends and family, but sometimes they have preconceived notions. They have their own emotional hang-ups with the topic at hand. So talk to a professional, someone who is a clean slate that you can confide in. You can do that with BetterHelp. You'll feel more confident, more like yourself with BetterHelp. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, it's a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey. Switch therapist anytime you want. Turn your video on or off. Make it whatever you need it to be. So if you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. Get the lines a little bit of the week, and we'll talk about the games as we do that. Second. I usually have it up, but I did not today. In the world.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. That text. Let's see. Nothing.
Yeah, we're aware that Jaden Rashada was at the game. He was there with his family. His brother is on the Ole Miss roster.
Yeah.
He's going to Miami. He
has a contract.
A multi-million-dollar NIL deal.
Feels as ironclad as it can feel.
He's going to Miami.
What if?
The what if, I guess, would be the transfer portal. And that could happen.
Whew. Yeah, I would like to know what Dish Network deal with from a customer service standpoint on Saturday morning when they woke up. Some poor dude making $6.50 an hour had to deal with.
So he quit.
Saw that news on Saturday and went, I'm sick. No way.
He walked in, and after about 2 hours of that abuse, you go, I'm done.
I didn't make this decision.
I didn't do this. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'll read a script.
Yeah, I have a list of things depending on what you say that I say.
Yeah,
that is what happens.
Those people, if you try to have they can't. They're
not allowed.
They're not. Well, number one, they can't. Number
Yeah.
two, they're not allowed. Number two, they couldn't if they were allowed. But number four, they can't. So it's all. You're just banging your head against the wall.
Did Rivals, in fact, end up moving their customer service stateside at one point? Did they end up following through with that? Because it was a big kerfuffle at one of the conferences.
I think so.
Yeah. I like Eric, but he thought that was a good idea, and it was not a good idea. That was not the goal. Games starting on Wednesday this week. Why is that? SMU UCF is Wednesday night.
I guess TV.
Well, that's the answer to everything.
Yeah.
That is the answer to all of it. All right, let's see. What games make sense? Thursday. No Thursday game, I guess, because the NFL has a game. Friday, not much. Nebraska-Rutgers is your best Friday game out of 4. So that tells you something about that slate. Saturday at 11 o'clock, 3 different SEC games going on Saturday at 11. I didn't realize there were 3. There are 3.
Hey, real quick, I just saw these. Kyle Wilson sent a couple of super chats. He says, I know everyone hates Bama. We'll talk about the Bama game in a minute. Do you think a lot of people end up pulling for them this week? We'll talk about that in a minute. And then he asked if you're doing an audio version of your book.
Kindle version is up next. Trying to get through that, and then we sort of are seeing where it's going. I think that's a good possibility. A couple of different people I have in mind to potentially read that. I am not doing it myself. And then I think there's one more thing coming, but let's stick with that. But we're getting the ebook out of the way next. That's an easy thing to do. That's probably a few weeks away, and then we'll tackle audio after that point. It's kind of where we're at.
They said the game got moved because of the hurricane.
Oh,
that makes sense.
yeah, that would make sense.
I've gotten where keeping up is hard.
Yeah. Missouri and Florida Saturday. Missouri has to be stinging because it was right there on the racket for the Tigers.
We make fun of Drinkwitz a lot. His team was really prepared.
They were.
They played really hard.
But I make fun of them because they don't win. They play like this and they screw stuff up all the time. It's not that they just completely suck.
They just ran out of juice against Georgia.
They did.
But
they blew the Auburn game.
They did. They blew the Auburn game.
He loses a lot of close games.
He does.
That's why I don't like him.
Yeah.
And
frankly, there were a couple of spots there where, hey, kicking it, I get it, but you're not going to stop them.
I mean, eventually they are going to get some traction here.
Yeah, so I actually felt bad for them on Saturday. I usually sort of giggle at their losses, and
I do hate the losing coach thing when it's been thrown away like that, and they're just stared up at the scoreboard in like the last 25 seconds going, hell.
Almost had it.
Yeah, right there.
But I would say this, firing him, and there's talk about firing him, for what? You're just going to hire the next him. Give him another year.
Who you hiring?
Right.
At Missouri.
Right.
Florida minus 10.5. What was the final of the Florida game?
I don't know.
Yesterday? They were up big when
whatever they kind of wanted it to be.
Hey, we're going up against NFL Sunday. Turn on the Gators.
Can you imagine? Hey, we got a 13 rating. We did. 13 people watched.
Yeah, is there football on? Yeah, it's Bills Ravens or Eastern Washington, Florida.
Yeah, I mean, come on. My initial thought is that
I think I'm laying the points, but Florida's not good, so I don't know.
But Missouri can't score.
And Anthony Richardson's going to go walk up and down the field 12 times.
And he had to wonder as the kicker's making all these kicks. You couldn't make one of these last week?
No, he's a good kicker.
You just couldn't make that one kick last week?
He's a good kicker.
I'd trade one of the 5 for just that one.
Oh, you would?
All day. Might trade 3 of the 5.
Oh. I mean, you do kind of feel bad for him. A little bit,
sure.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the game you love on Saturday, Tennessee at LSU. Baton Rouge, 11 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Can't wait. I might be late to the Ole Miss game because I'll watch the end of this one.
Tennessee minus 3 for Tennessee LSU.
Tennessee minus 3.
Yes. That line's a little smaller than I would have thought. But look, I'm going to give – we made fun of them in the opener, and it was very deserved. LSU played like shit against Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
They gutted out 2 really good games against State and Auburn. Mm-hmm. Where they're not great, but they found ways to win games they easily could have lost. LSU could be in the tank right now, and instead they're ranked. I mean, hell, they're like 25th. I mean, it's okay.
I got to really think about this one. I'm inclined to take LSU and points, but I'm not there yet. It's going to be a hell of a game. And it's further proof that these 11 a.m. games are a real thing. Because LSU lobbies and lobbies and lobbies for night games. And ESPN was like, nope, that's the best game. We're putting it on.
Another reason why I don't think LSU Ole Miss will be at 11.
I think
it's 2:30 with the possible exception of 6:30 if State Alabama got the 2:30. You can't rule it. I think it's Ole Miss LSU, but you can't rule it out.
Because if State beats Arkansas, but if LSU beats Tennessee, LSU Ole Miss will be 2:30. For sure.
Oh, well, yeah, sure.
But if State beats Arkansas, and assuming Alabama beats A&M,
and then Tennessee beats LSU,
Tennessee beats LSU, it could get moved.
That could be a different deal. But it feels 2:30. I mean, that's where I think I would go with that. But this line's bothering me because I feel like Tennessee's going to win this game, not by 20 or anything, but by a score.
Yeah. Their offense is electric.
Yeah, I kind of just like Tennessee here on the road. Arkansas at Mississippi State, you mentioned it. It's 11 o'clock as well. So what channels are these games on? Because they're all SEC versus SEC.
Arkansas, Mississippi State's on SEC Network.
Okay.
The Florida game's on ESPNU, I think.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, and then something is on ESPN.
That's Tennessee LSU.
Yeah.
I would assume.
I think Florida, Mizzou is on ESPNU.
Okay. Mississippi State at home, 6.5 against the Hogs.
Has it gone up to 6.5?
6.5.
The higher it goes, the more I'm inclined to take the points.
That's a rule. Yeah.
They're going to score, Arkansas is. They score on everybody. Their problem is that their defense is just anemic. But they were pretty good defensively against State last year. I was at that game. They handled the air raid fairly well. And they moved the football pretty effectively against I think it's a closer game than that, is my opinion. I guess 6.5 starts getting into that territory where, oh, hell, I'll just take the points.
It does. Where you a game that's somewhat of a coin flip, and it's like, okay, I'll take the underdog and I get nearly a touchdown. Sure.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's in a lot of ways. It's why, and I got it right in that little middle territory. It's kind of what I did with Ole Miss, Kentucky. I was like, I think Ole Miss wins, but if you're going to give me a touchdown, okay. I mean, basically, if I avoid an Ole Miss blowout, I'm going to win the game from a pick standpoint. And that's what happened there. So, game that does not have the luster that they would like for it to. I'm assuming this is a Fox game at 11 o'clock, Texas and Oklahoma. The Red River Shootout.
It's on ABC.
It's on ABC?
At 11.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I put it in our picks this week because they're going to be in the league, and we need to start talking about this game. And also, it gives us an opportunity to make fun of both of them.
Do we have to like this game?
No, we can hate it.
Okay. I don't hate the game.
I mean, it's going to be a big part of the SEC
game's kinda
package.
fun.
Yeah, sure. Oklahoma's a mess right now.
Who are you finding yourself pulling for?
Texas.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know. Kind of enjoy the implosion.
In Oklahoma?
A little bit for some reason. I don't know why. Just kind of find it amusing.
Is it because we're used to the Texas implosion? So let's get the new implosion?
Maybe so.
Like, we enjoy Texas sucking.
Well, I mean, I think Oklahoma is the team that probably thinks, we'll be okay transitioning into the SEC. And I'm like, no, it's going to be a wake-up call for you. I think Oklahoma kind of looks at it and goes, we've always won so much. I think, like, when we go to Lexington, it'll be fine. No, it's going to be hard. I think they look at it like, when we go to Starkville, it won't be so bad. No, it's going to be really loud, and they're going to beat you. I think they're in for an awakening.
We're a broken record. It's the back-to-back-to-back. Yes, Oklahoma plays Texas and Oklahoma State, and they play really tough games, and then they don't. They play West Virginia. And then
you go to Oxford, and then Auburn comes to your place, and then you go to LSU, and you look up, and you're like, oh, my God, when does this end?
It doesn't.
And you're like, nope, Alabama's next.
Yeah. You get Vanderbilt every other year, so that's where it ends. That's where it's at. Sorry, I did miss that. Game day is in Lawrence, Kansas this weekend. TCU in Kansas.
Yeah, how about that?
Undefeated Horned Frogs, the undefeated Jayhawks.
Lance Leopold's just standing over there going, I'm playing with house.
He's going to have a good time on Saturday morning on game day in town. He's going to go out, rock chalk. Might even take a shot at Bill Self while he's doing it. I mean, who knows?
Y'all want me to sit on the thing? I'll sit on the thing. We'll talk.
All day.
The game's that morning, so he probably won't be able to do it for long. But, yeah, sure.
I got all the time in the world, babe.
What you want to talk about? Yeah.
You want to pick some Big Ten games? Let's pick some Big Ten games.
Let's do it. What you got? Kirk? Coach?
Assuming Corso's back on air this week.
Yeah, I find that show difficult to watch.
He is, because you feel sorry for him as a human. It is a hard show to watch.
I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing.
I'm assuming they're just letting him make his own decision because of the length of time.
But it's really uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable.
Why did it do that?
What did it do?
I got signed out of YouTube.
Oh.
It's okay. I mean, I can sign back in, but that was weird. Sorry. Michigan, Indiana, who cares? Purdue, Maryland, who cares? Auburn, Georgia, 2:30. CBS for this one.
What's that line, like 22? 28, 30,
29.
29.
29. Georgia's not covering these lately.
No.
Now, as soon as I take Auburn, Georgia's going to beat them 42-0. But
it's still, if you just do the don't think bet, it's take.
But we keep getting kicked in our teeth with this.
Yeah, but I still think it's probably the strategy.
Because you're saying, hey, is Robbie Ashford going to score on Georgia?
Yeah. And the answer is probably not.
He hit a couple passes against LSU, and he was spunky early. And then it
I mean, they were up 14-0, and you're like, oh, look at this. And then they got whipped.
LSU had the better coach, the better plan, and just sort of outlasted it. I ended up watching more of that game than I meant to.
Yeah. I watched a lot of it, but I kept flipping to the other one.
Did you?
Because the other one was kind of compelling.
Oh, they're late third. It was like, nope, this is getting my attention. This is where we're going. Like,
yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, you started thinking, this could happen.
And so you think you're laying 29 here in Athens? You think there's a get-right game for Georgia at some point?
I think so.
So why are they sucking? And relatively, they are sucking.
Because their quarterback play is average.
So we got too high on Stetson Bennett too fast?
I think he played really well early. Now he's kind of coming back to just being a good quarterback.
And they're banged up.
They are.
Jalen Carter goes out on Saturday night. I haven't seen an update. He might be fine. He might not be fine. I have no idea. But you're right. I mean, we pick a lot of games this way. If you lose this, you'd much rather lose it with Auburn keeping it somewhat close than Georgia winning the game 42-3, and you're going, okay, I'm a moron.
I keep waiting for Auburn to quit.
And you think they're going to quit?
I don't know. I just kind of keep waiting for them to quit. They're pretty good on defense. That was what would make me hesitant on laying 29.
Yeah, sorry,
points.
Grind said 17-0, not 14-0.
My bad.
Did you feel good at that point, Grind? What was our thoughts at 17-0?
I don't think I don't think Auburn can go there and win. I don't think that's an option. I don't think that's on the menu.
No.
Keep it close. Sure, take the under, like Grind says. But I don't know that Auburn can score on them.
Give Texas Tech any shot in Stillwater?
No.
The line is 10.
Have you watched Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
They're good.
They're good.
They're legit good.
They're a good program.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, 17-2 in their last 9.
I guess that's where I'm going here. It's what's interesting because I think there are some parallels between Ole Miss and Oklahoma State that I think their record sneaks up on some people when you look at it and what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State doesn't. They're in. I mean, obviously, see cash register. Lance Leopold jumping all over the place. You got a Venmo, I guess.
I did.
Ole Miss has the higher national profile because they're in the SEC. So it probably is a little more known from that standpoint. But you look up and you kind of go, yeah, Oklahoma State, they haven't been to the playoff, but they don't get the respect they probably deserve for being that level of competitor in the Big 12. I mean, they played in the Big 12 title game last year, played Baylor.
It was decided by one play.
Yeah. It's helmets. Everybody goes Texas and Oklahoma, and it's like, no, Oklahoma State.
Yeah, no, they're legit. 17-2.
It's a lot of wins.
It's a lot of wins.
In this stupid sport where every day something stupid happens.
Yeah, come on. No, he's really good.
Look, it's what they're benefiting from. It's what Ole Miss benefits from with Lane Kiffin. It is steadiness and culture. It is we show up and we don't do the big fluctuations where, you have the big win and then you lay the egg. You just methodical. There is really something to college football if you just beat who you're supposed to beat. And you don't have the games where you lose the games you're not supposed to lose.
Well,
because as your talent moves up, there's more of those suddenly. It's not.
Lane's gotten better about this. Like, I thought Saturday it was really impressive after the game. As emotional as the team was, because we could hear them, He wasn't. He was very calm. Hey, it's a good win, but it's one win. We didn't solve all the problems. Could have lost. It was one play, a couple plays. When that happens, you know, that kind of thing. Juxtapose that to last week in Arlington, where Jimbo Fisher acted like they'd won the Super Bowl and Sam Pittman looked gutted.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's one play. It's one play. You got to get. It's not over. Your team's got to play again.
Mm-hmm.
Lane knows that he's got big games coming.
Yeah.
He can't treat. Hey, we beat Kentucky. Woo! We're the champions of the whole world. No, you're not. You're 1-0 in the SEC. That's what you are. You're 1-0. And he used that word. He goes 1-0. He's not wrong. That's what Gundy does. If you pay much attention to him, he is. Everybody remembers I'm a man. I'm 40. Watch his press conferences. He's pretty steady.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the same guy all the time. Their program is just kind of rocks along. And if you're not ready for them, they will whip your ass. They're good. They're talented. They play fast. They're aggressive. I kind of like them, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
I kind of, when I watch them play, catch myself kind of cheering for them a little bit, but more than that, just kind of admiring them.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, in the other team that's 17-2 in that deal, we used to make fun of him.
Michigan.
Watch Michigan now; they're sort of a machine.
They are.
He's took him a while, but he's turned them into. They're back to being a power.
Yeah, they're real.
Yeah, they're real.
I find myself not liking them, but they are real.
I'm the same way, but I watch them a little bit, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what you see.
Mm-hmm. Podcast brought to you in part by Northeast Spark, NESPARC, 2 packages, the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. You can do all the streaming and multiple devices and all the stuff you'd like there with the 1 gig. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, and much more. So again, give them a call. Again, that's 662-238-3159.
I've been using some products from Solutions RX here the last couple months. I really have never felt better. It's a probiotic multivitamin supplement company, except for my voice, created by Ole Miss Pharmacy alum Chris Cornelison, pharmaceutical grade, manufactured here inside the U.S. In fact, it's right in Mississippi. It's got a product called Prescription Support. It just helps put vitamins back into your body, helps with those side effects, helps you stay more compliant taking your medications, just helps you stay healthier, feeling better over the long term. And that's a good thing. SolutionsRx.com. They're also available in independent pharmacies across the continental U.S., including Mississippi. But go to SolutionsRx.com, promo code OEP at checkout, and you get 10% off your first order. Brought to you by Holcomb Portable Building, 7991 Highway 7 South in Holcomb. They custom build your building to your specifications. However you want your carport, ATV, or storage shed, barn, hunting cabin, or other building, Holcomb Portable Buildings can accommodate you. You pick the color, the style, the windows, the doors. Holcomb makes it happen. In-house financing available, free delivery and setup within 75 miles as well. 662-226-2233 or go to holcombbuildings.com. Still plenty of time for 7 South tailgating. Got the Auburn game coming up. I've got a feeling there's going to be some people in the Grove for the Alabama game, Mississippi State as well. Get in touch with the people at 7 South Tailgating. It's your one-stop shop for all things tailgating at Ole Miss. Their service is fully customizable to accommodate anything from the most basic needs to turnkey tailgating at 7southtailgating.com. And we're brought to you by Game Changer Patches. They sponsor my 10 Weekend Thoughts, which we've been talking about a little bit today. It's the only 2-patch system available in the market to stop hangovers before they start. The warm-up patch used before or while you drink. The overtime patch used after you've been drinking to recover while you sleep. The all-natural ingredients will keep you in the game, ready for the next play. Go to GameChangerPatch.com, promo code RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase. And we're brought to you by ACS, Automation and Control Systems, LLC, based in Baldwin, Mississippi. It's a complete electrical control system solution provider and a Rockwell Automation recognized system integrator. To learn more, go to acsllcms.com or call 662-601-4381.
That is an interesting thought, the exercise that had a lot of the stuff just going through as you could have at least seen a picture of back in the day, what the league would be like had Texas, Oklahoma, A&M, and Oklahoma State been the 4 just in 12.
Oh, yeah. Been something.
Yeah, been something. Well, Oklahoma State is that level of team, and I think if you're them right now, it's just stay in the Big 12, run that bitch, and then get in the playoff.
Yeah.
Go undefeated. Oklahoma doesn't want to play you, so okay, fine, whatever. and get in the playoff. In some ways, you've got enough name notoriety, and the Big 12 is going to be a one-bid league, if you will, where they're going to get a team in. That I think you're okay. I think you're actually in pretty good shape, except for the whole money loss thing. Might want to figure that out. But from a competition level, I think it's about as good as it could be.
Tyler says, Neal, Chase was asked Saturday if he could add one past Rebel to this team. Who would it be? What's your opinion? My answer is pretty much always the same. Laramie Tunsil.
Even with this team?
Yeah.
We contemplated that.
I mean, I guess Matt Corral.
Well, we were contemplating, because of the way this offense is, do you need a wide receiver to take the top off?
Well, I mean, Mike Wallace would help.
Yeah, that was the...
But my answer typically is just Laramie Tunsil.
Just make the offensive line better.
He's the best football player I've ever seen in person.
Just let that be what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the only player that I have ever watched in person that I just couldn't stop watching in the same way of him is like Cam Newton, Champ Bailey.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, guys who just...
Bailey popped in person.
Oh, God.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't do anything about him. He was such a phenomenal athlete.
I was watching this on Saturday night to the point that I even flipped over to it. Georgia Tech routes Pitt on Saturday.
Yeah, it's just college football.
If you're not one of those teams, it's just everybody's in a hat.
Even if you are one of those teams, everybody's kind of in a hat. Look at Alabama and Georgia Saturday.
Yeah, sure.
Georgia damn near loses in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And if Alabama doesn't convert a 3rd and 15 where the quarterback runs, like everybody talks about,
they did have their backup quarterback. They were up 28-0.
They were, but Bryce Young doesn't get a contract that goes, hey, we promise you that today you'll stay healthy.
Yeah, sure.
Right? And so he goes out, and all of a sudden they look really mortal. And it's 28-23 before you know it, and their backup quarterback is in there, and it's 3rd and 15, and he escapes and runs for 77 yards. That's what ultimately won the game for Alabama. They're in trouble. I mean, if they have to punt right there, that's one play. Let's say he gets 4 yards and they have to punt on 4th and 11, we might be talking about a totally different football game. He took the air out of that place.
Because I had turned it off. I mean, I was kind of like, all right, whatever, moving on to the next one. And then you look up and you're like, hold on a minute.
Yeah, sure. At 28-23, going to the fourth quarter, you could feel the momentum. I was listening to it in the car on the way back from the stadium, and you could feel the momentum in the stadium. It was on ESPN radio. I was listening to the national broadcast.
Doors, I would go offense with my guy, but yeah, Parade Jerry would impact this team considerably in the middle of that defense.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be my choice, but I understand that potential logic. I think they need an offensive player, though.
Yeah.
If you're playing this thought exercise.
If you're asking me what worries you about this team, it's offense. They're good on offense, but there's no sign of greatness on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Really reliant on the running game. Don't have the deep threat passing yet at all.
No.
You know, there's stuff that nags a little bit at you.
Wisconsin is giving 9.5 to Northwestern in Evanston this weekend.
Yeah,
Northwestern's terrible.
They're bad.
Hughes a 25.5-point favorite at UMass on Saturday.
Oh, that might be free money. Whoa.
The 25?
Mental note, yeah.
Because
Hugh knows he's auditioning a little bit right now.
Okay. So run it up on the Minutemen. And
run it up on whoever you can.
Yeah. And they're decent. They're good.
No, he's got a good team. He's a good coach. I mean, you know my opinion on this. I think he should stay at Liberty forever.
Yeah.
It's a great fit. They're going to let him be Hugh. He's always going to be one of the better coaches on the games that he plays.
Oh, at that level especially, he's
a very good football coach. The people that try to run him down as not a good coach, no, he's a really good coach. I think he's the leader in the clubhouse at Auburn.
Because of the other part.
Just all of it.
Sure.
But we'll see.
Sneaky good American game in the in Uptown New Orleans. Tulane, a 2.5 favorite against East Carolina on Saturday.
That's a good game.
Yeah, it's fine. Scrolling through. Ole Miss Vanderbilt, 3:00. Opened at 18.5, still at 18.5. It went to 19 for a little while, but it's at 18.5.
I'm laying them because I'm going to be mad at myself if I overthink it and try to split the middle. Like last week, I split the middle, and I was confident all week that I had it right, and I did. I'm almost certainly laying points.
59.5 is the over-under.
I'm going under on Ole Miss games.
Yeah, till.
Where's Vanderbilt going to get points in this game? I mean, they're going to score a little, but they don't have.
There's no dynamic player.
So they're going to get.
With all due respect to Ray Davis, there's only so much they can do.
They're going to get 10-14. Ole Miss feels like it's going to get in the 30s. What'd you say the over-under was?
59.5.
That's too high.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking 34-10, 34-17. It's still only 51.
And here's Ole Miss's thing: if they're this dependent on Caleb Warren, once you have a game in hand, you got to get him off the field.
That's true.
And that bogs your offense down. And Lane's got to be thinking big picture at all times right now because he's undefeated.
Because, look, I'm not blaming Eli Acker. He's playing out of position and doing the damn best he can. It is what it is. He is a guard. He is not a center. He was not coming in to be a center. He was not a center last year. It's not his fault.
No, of course not.
But that impacted the offense in ways that because they won, we talked about, but we glossed over quickly to move on. I mean,
Well, they very clearly
with a normal snap all game, they win that game by 13 points.
I think so. Points. I think so.
That's not a game if simply the snap was good all day.
On the flip side, if Warren never comes in, I think they lose.
I think that's very possible, yeah. Because there was 3 or 4 plays where Dart had to just take it and run because the timing had gotten thrown off. And the motion timing is such a big part of Lane's offense that if that's out, it's because they're early on. They only did it the one snap. I thought they were about to go under center because that kept the timing in play a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. It was just the one play, but he put it on tape. So 18.5, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, North Carolina, Miami, a game that going into the season, people would have thought, oh, wow, that could be interesting. It's not.
No.
At all.
Nope.
Miami, a 3.5-point favorite in Coral Gables against the Tar Heels. Ohio State, Michigan State. Ohio State giving 25.5 to the Spartans.
Lay them.
I
mean, look, Ohio State, Michigan's going to be one hell of a football game, and then they'll probably do it again.
Troy Southern Miss, a decent game.
Ooh. John's done a really good job.
He has. They've gotten much better since
much better, week after week, to the point where people are paying attention.
Troy 6.5-point favorites against Southern Miss.
Where's that game?
It is in Troy.
I'll probably lay those points.
South Carolina, Kentucky, back in Lexington for the Wildcats to face the Gamecocks.
It's going to be a tough week.
I don't think it's a trap game, but
no. But Stoops has his hands full this week.
Yeah,
they're
changing expectations.
Well, and they're going to have the Arkansas week from last week, where they feel like everybody calm down. They feel like they gave a game away. They feel like they lost the game more than they were beaten.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough. And South Carolina can be plucky, so you've got to be ready. Kentucky has to make sure that Ole Miss doesn't beat them twice. If he can convince them to kind of play angry, I like Kentucky, and
it's 10.5,
and I'd lay all those points.
Yeah, it's 10.5. I'm putting a pin in that one. That one I want to see how the week goes.
Yeah,
in Lexington for that.
They don't play it on Monday. He's got some time.
Carolina got a few extra days of rest.
They've been steady though. Kentucky has. I mean, they're 15-4 in their last 19. There aren't too many programs that can say that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Will be one boring game, but an interesting game nonetheless. In Ames, Iowa, Kansas State in town. Kansas State -2 at Iowa State on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
that's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Wake Forest -15.5 against Army. They did some good stuff against Florida State on Saturday.
They whipped Florida State, man.
Yeah, I'm not a believer in Mike Norvell and the Seminoles.
No,
I'm very out.
Not at all.
BYU Notre Dame is interesting on Saturday, just from a game standpoint.
It is.
Notre Dame -3.
We watched BYU against Utah State, and I wasn't blown away.
No.
I mean, I really wasn't.
They played well against Baylor.
They did.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Played really well against Baylor considering they were out their wide receivers and everything. They gutted that one out. But then they got popped by Oregon.
Yeah.
And
they didn't look so great.
Your Hawkeyes are in Champaign on Saturday night to face the Illini. -3.5 Illinois giving to Iowa.
What time's that game?
Is it 6:30, right? Yeah, it's a night game. Not Big Ten night games. I mean, I know it puts asses in seats. It's the Big Ten night game that is.
Is that on Big Ten Network?
I don't have whatever. It's fine.
Got to find a game to watch.
Yeah, you got one. Texas A&M, Alabama.
I'd rather watch Iowa.
No, you wouldn't. You want to watch the beatdown. You won't, don't you? No one is pulling for Texas A&M in this game.
No, but
we usually do the hey, let's beat the evil empire. No. Roll Tide on Saturday.
No, we're
night.
for the evil empire.
You want the evil empire to grind its boot into throats on Saturday night.
I'm telling you, I think I still feel cheated. I'm being honest. We were on the cusp of total nuclear meltdown, and we just didn't get it, and we deserved it, and we didn't get it, and I just feel a little cheated. And now Bryce Young might not play. We don't get to watch 56-0. It's going to be more like
he's not going to play.
I mean,
you think he's out?
No, but come on, it was significant enough that at 28-23,
yeah, he still was out.
He's standing over there on the sideline, and you're not going to him.
Yeah. Did we know that it was Milroe instead of Simpson? Was that a known thing in that program?
I didn't know that, but now
we don't cover.
I don't cover Alabama, so yeah. I don't know. There didn't appear to be any social media shock over it.
Are you laying in 24?
Probably. I got to find out.
That number's a little.
If Young's not playing, probably not.
No, that's a weird number.
Because look, Alabama's defense is not this lights out defense that people made it out to be. It's just not.
They are really good at running back, and that Milroe kid can run very quick.
Again, I mean, I'm telling you, as crazy as this sounds in a game where Alabama covered 20 points or whatever, if he doesn't make that run on 3rd and 15, we might have a completely different game.
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. Your night game at 10 o'clock on Saturday is Oregon State at Stanford, if you care. And that's it. The slate's fine.
I plan to be asleep.
Yeah, the slate's okay. I mean, that's kind of where it's at. But Florida State, NC State is that night. I don't know. Where did Ole Miss move in the polls? 9th?
Number 9 in AP. I don't know what they did in the coaches poll.
It was 9th in coaches. Is what I saw.
They're 9th in both.
Okay. Did they finally get ranked by everybody this week?
I don't know.
Let's find out. They're kind of in 9th comfortably, if you will. They have 1068 on points. Tennessee's at 8 at 1129, and Penn State at 959. Only 2 points separating Alabama and Georgia at the top. Alabama goes back to number 1 at 1523, Georgia at 1521, Ohio State at 1488, Alabama 25 first place votes, Georgia 28 first place votes, and Ohio State 10 first place votes for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I don't begrudge the Ohio State votes.
No, I'm fine with that.
I'm good with that. That's cool.
There are still 2 people that don't have Ole Miss ranked.
Okay, at this point, we need to get them on the show.
I mean,
because before that, I could go, okay, I mean, I get the argument. I don't think it's a very good one, but
frankly, there's a lot. Still have them in the 20s. A lot.
Who doesn't have them in the top 25, though?
David Briggs and Nathan Baird.
Where are they?
It is the same 2 as last time. It is the 2 Ohio journalists. It is Cleveland.com. He covers Ohio State for Cleveland.com. Nathan Baird, Baird, and David Briggs for the Toledo Blade. He has Kentucky 7, however.
Still?
Yeah. Oh, well, maybe this is last week. Hold on. I mean, judging by College Poll Tracker, I'm reading. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, week 9. Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, look these.
And then three people have
Look these gentlemen up.
3 people have Ole Miss at 23, 2 at 22, 3 at 21, 3 at 20. Number 12 is the most.
Nathan Baird, Ohio State football reporter for Cleveland.com.
Yeah.
Open DMs. I'll send him one today. I'll see if we can't get him on.
Okay.
He wrote about Wisconsin firing. I want to see if he does a piece about his vote.
I doubt it.
He takes the AP Top 25, whereas there's a shakeup at the top of the AP Top 25 poll, but Ohio State's ranking didn't budge, is what he writes. He writes, how I vote, an explainer on why I didn't vote for your team this week 22 hours ago. So let's pull this up. Let's see what he writes. Okay. I'm a big believer if you're going to be an AP voter, you've got to have a thing each week about your poll.
Okay.
I'm getting down to see if there's anything about it. Isn't a power ranking or my whimsical guess as to who the best teams are. It's an attempt to compare resumes each week. Who has beaten out and whose performances on both sides of the ball stand out. I don't seek to have an extreme ballot per the tracker at College Poll Tracker, nor do I consider it a problem if that's how it turns out. Let's see. I'm not in the least bit beholden to how I voted in the preseason or even last week. I voted for Kansas 2 weeks ago, then left him off last week barely because some other teams picked up more valuable wins, in my opinion. But when the carnage cleared this week and the Jayhawks picked up another solid win, I had no issue ranking them where I did below. Same for TCU, which I had not been ranking at all. Same for Ole Miss.
Oh, never mind. I was on the wrong week. I apologize. Never mind. Stopped our entire conversation.
Nathan, I'm sorry.
Yes, I have a grave error. He actually moved Ole Miss from not ranked to 10th.
Yeah, he's got Ole Miss 10.
So I apologize there. Who was our other gentleman?
David Briggs.
He has Ole Miss 10th as well.
So crisis averted.
The lowest vote for Ole Miss is 12th from Kirk Bowles with the Austin American-Statesman.
And that's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Robbie Falk has Ole Miss 11th, the Mississippi AP, right? Robbie watches a lot of football, no issues.
I think it's a shade low, but I get it. It's good. I have them 7th. If I was a voter, they would be 7th.
Their 2 7th votes are John Wilner, who I think covers South Carolina.
I think that's right.
And then Matt Baker, who I don't know.
I don't know him.
Their 2 highest votes are 6, and those coming from CBS Sports' Adam Zucker and Mike Barber, who covers, I don't know, he works for the Richmond Times-Dispatch in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
He has a bias against Tennessee, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
It's like, yeah, Mike, it's okay. We can all hang out.
It's cool.
Adam Zucker has biases against Tulsa and Maryland.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
No, sorry, toward Tulsa and Maryland. Against Marshall and UTSA. If those are your biases, you're pretty straightforward. Yeah. Like, if we got to dig that far to get into a bias,
you're doing fine.
That's not bad.
If you're just anti-UTSA, I don't have an issue with it. It's cool.
Oh, okay. It's fine. All right, yeah. Crisis averted. 6 to 12 and
Thank
double
goodness.
sixes. I was on the wrong week.
I know.
It is what it is.
I mean, think of the DMs that are being sent to my guy.
Glad you didn't send one before that happened. Never mind. My co-host is a moron. I apologize. Enjoy your day in Ohio. Oh, all right. On that note, Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. 6 different flavors delivered straight to your door. They have their newest option, the lemon crack pepper, the signature, which is the best all-around versatile option. They've got the spicy Louisiana shrimp bowl and the meals in the bag with the French Quarter Alfredo and the garlic herb butter. Also a Simply Shrimp if you would like to season it yourself and with whatever you like. They are selling their 2-pound bags of individually frozen shrimp, a lot like what's in the restaurants, in the grocery stores, but a higher quality restaurant shrimp with primeshrimp.com. Use code MPW for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's $20 off with MPW at primeshrimp.com.
Brought to you by Lammon's Fine Jewelry. It's 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford, serving the Oxford area for 3/4 of a century. From engagement rings to wedding rings, fine jewelry, watches, pearls, you name it, they've got it. At Lammon's, it's the gold standard in fine jewelry. Visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777. Man, I don't know what I'm going to do. We're also brought to you by Pinnacle. They're based in Madison, Mississippi. Clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states. They provide comprehensive, detailed investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. It's mypinnwealth.com, MYPINN wealth.com. We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're thinking about a holiday vacation, thinking about next summer already, get in touch with John. Just give him some parameters, give him a budget. He's going to give you options that you're not going to come up with on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Brought to you by Opa. It's Oxford's newest restaurant on the square. Gyros, wraps, kebabs, redfish, handcrafted cocktails, frozen libations, so much more at Opa 306 South Lamar, just south of the Square Courthouse in Oxford. I'll have a mailbag up on Wednesday. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt, Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. You can reach her at 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. We'll have picks up on Thursday. They're brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency, connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, they've got everything from entry-level positions to seasoned professionals, opportunities across the spectrum of businesses as well. 662-832-5138 or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialistltd.com. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward, chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental's helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. So call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth. Let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing available at corinthdental.com. Pinpoint Commercial Real Estate is based out of Jackson. They service the entire state in all commercial asset classes such as industrial, retail, office, medical, and land. B.B. Mitchell with Pinpoint provides a plethora of commercial real estate services, but his core focus is sourcing investment properties for his clients. They are always looking to acquire income-producing property with all risk tolerance levels ranging from vacant buildings to investment-grade stabilized assets. They take pride in their attention to detail, professionalism, and hard work. For all your commercial real estate needs, call BB at 601-934-5008. And don't forget, Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. They've got sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails. So much offered at Southern Traditions. Also, it's a great venue for parties, events. So get in touch with Bowers Cone, Susan Walt, all the people out there at Southern Traditions Farm on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm.
So looking through some, let's see, some Bill Connolly stuff a second ago. Your boy Kane. Here's an interesting stat.
Mm-hmm.
South Alabama is yet to finish with a winning record in 10 years as an FBS team, but now has a 97% chance of finishing the regular season with at least 7 wins in Kane Womack's second year.
Shit, they might win the Sun Belt.
Mm-hmm. They're playing really well.
It was a big win for their program to go to Lafayette and win. I know that ULL's down, but that was a big win. It was a big step.
The SP Plus that Connolly mostly uses really likes the Rebels, so they're not included in any of this because they just are where they thought they were going to be. There's no surprise jump or fall for Ole Miss. Connolly had Ole Miss at 5-0 through 5 games, and they are 5-0 through 5 games. So that is why they're not mentioned. Like he gives, like Tennessee has jumped a little. They have a higher chance of knocking off Georgia in these stats than they did a few weeks ago. There's some changes along those lines. Mm-hmm. And then the Big 12, per his stats, has basically already been eliminated from the college football playoff because basically he thinks they're all going to beat up on each other a little bit and that they have to get to 12-0.
They do
to have a chance in the Big 12 the way it's set up.
Probably have to get to 13-0.
Right, and he says that there is a very, very, very small chance of that happening, so it's pretty much over. Despite, from an average team standpoint, they're number 2 in the country behind the SEC because everybody's pretty good. They just don't have that elite team.
Yeah.
That pushes them up. So there's some interesting stuff in there. If you go to ESPN, Connolly does a good job.
He's got Ole Miss going 10-2.
I don't know.
Connolly,
is that what it was?
Thought so.
Okay. Like he gives Tennessee a 7% college football playoff odd now.
What's Ole Miss?
It's not listed because they're not a movie. It's only talking about teams that have drastically changed their number one way or the other.
Gotcha.
That's the gist of what he is currently
Tennessee's
doing.
got a big stretch coming up.
Because like Michigan now has a 41% chance. They were at 17 in the preseason.
Yeah. Tennessee's got a real chance to make noise. At LSU, Alabama at home. If they're 7-0 when that's over, boy.
Suddenly,
talk about the cover of magazines.
Mm-hmm.
To find out. I can't wait for Saturday morning to watch that game. I'm just going to flat tell you. Sign me up. I might be. I might miss the first half.
Here's
of the first
the deal. LSU winning would be a really big blow to Tennessee. Like to show, hey, we're not.
Yeah. Well,
if you're at all real, you go win that football game.
Well, it's the conversation we're going to be having a little bit.
In 3 weeks.
The sentence you just said.
Yeah. If you're real, you go win that football game.
You find out.
Because LSU's fine. They're good, but they're not great.
But it's different walking into that building. And it doesn't have to be at night. I've watched wild games in the daytime.
It can be a hornet's nest down there when another team is good.
It just gets different. Yeah. It just gets different.
Ole Miss wasn't prepared in 14.
And they're going to rally around this team. This is a first-year coach. They like him. He's recruiting well. This isn't going to be LSU where they self-implode and they're so bad that you go in there and you kill them and their fans are kind of cheering for you.
Yeah, no.
No. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
This is test time for Tennessee. I mean, that's why I'm really anxious to see, because I've watched them. Let me be clear. I think they're really good. But it's one thing to play at Neyland when 100,000 people are cheering for you, and it's another thing to go into Tiger Stadium when they're ready to roll. Now, they're not as loud in the daytime and all that stuff, but they'll be ready for Tennessee.
Yeah, I have not identified who the fraternities were that were in the scuffle on Saturday. I don't know the answer to that.
No.
I'm unaware.
I mean,
yeah.
How stupid do you have to be to get into one of those scrums? Because, frankly, once they go wild like that, you don't know if someone's going to come from an angle and cold cock you where you didn't see you. You just don't know. Like I wanted to show Carson that video, and probably will, and be like, look, if you're ever in a situation, just get out.
Yeah, go the other way.
You're not being a hero. You're not impressing anybody. You got a chance to get hurt.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk a good bit of NFL tomorrow. It was a good weekend.
And no girl watches that and goes, yeah, I tell you what,
that's the guy I want.
He really threw some punches. I think that's the guy I want. No.
Yeah, nobody was Rocky Marciano in that scrum on Saturday.
No.
You're all just drunkenly flailing.
You look like idiots.
Yeah. It wasn't as compelling of an NFL Sunday, but still a good NFL Sunday yesterday. I did not feel like it was that, oh, God, we have this witching hour where everything went crazy.
No, but there were some good games.
There were. It was good. We'll discuss that a good bit tomorrow.
Bills-Ravens was
that was a good game.
It was a solid football game. That Saints game, I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to end, but it's over, whatever. It was entertaining.
Week 4, and it's done. Like, I'm just like, sure.
Yeah.
They it's not even a record. It's eye test, and you go, we're not getting this thing done with Andy Dalton or Jameis Winston. So, peace.
Does Matt Rule survive the midpoint of the season?
I don't think so. I think that's a weird thing there in Carolina. I just don't think so.
Kind of wonder what direction they go after Matt Rule. Feels like they'll go hard NFL.
Somebody asked Dart about the fight.
Yeah, he was asked about the fight if he saw it. Okay. He didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. He turned it into a very positive answer about the crowd.
Mason Brooks saw it. We talked about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to defend Suss here. I know you got.
Yeah.
Number one, Nick does not write the headlines. people apparently worked up about a headline. Nick does not write the headlines. The way that works is he sends his content to the people at Gannett.
In Nashville, I think.
Yeah, they package it. They don't even run the headline by him to go, is this okay?
No, they lay it out and do it.
They just do it. Once he sends his story in, he's done. So the headline that's got people worked up, he didn't write it. And then secondly, and this is just my advice, honestly, for a minute, enjoy the ride. Everybody's kind of worked up. You're 5-0. I think you're going to be 7-0 going to LSU. This is going to get interesting. Enjoy it. Relax. It's my thought. It's my advice.
Recognize that this is the good times.
I mean, you're rolling right now. Enjoy it. You're rolling it away. Again, if I'm right, you're going to be 18-3 in your last 21 when you head to LSU.
Yeah.
The number of teams that are going to be able to say that is it's 4 or 5 in the country.
Yeah, as I said, and just enjoy.
You're in rarefied air right now. And maybe you'll stay there for a long, long time. I don't know, but enjoy it while you're in it.
Yeah.
Don't be the guy that looks back and goes, those were the good old days, and I was angry the whole time.
Yeah. But that Andy Bernard quote from The Office, isn't that what he's?
Something like that.
Yeah, and then his name.
Pretty damn profound.
Yeah. So, all right, NFL tomorrow, whatever Lane says today, because there'll be something. We'll have a press conference here in a couple of hours. So we'll bring that to you. Good stuff, rebelgrove.com. In multiple ways, read 10 Thoughts. Neal would appreciate it. And you'll be able to follow along with our content a little better. There's actual stuff in there. So
if you want men's basketball content, and some of you do, there's basically 5 men's basketball stories in 10 Weekend Thoughts.
Yeah.
We just do things differently here and this is not making fun. Literally 10 Thoughts could have been 10 to 12 stories that would have rolled all of our football coverage completely off the site less than 24 hours after the game was over. We chose not to do it that way.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot there. If you want to read about the men's basketball team, there's basically 5 stories and 10 Thoughts.
that's coming up on rebelgrove.com, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.